recording this, and what I'm going to do is just mute it for just a few minutes while I kind of explain the 72-hour game plan and why it's so important. And you'll see the documentation everywhere. I think I actually posted it in the Lovely's waiting room file somewhere. Just the basic overview, like write down a list of names, call everybody you know, you get that part. But there's actually kind of a way to do it to make it a little bit more organized. They've also introduced something called the 72-hour 90, which is a little bit different, but includes a 72-hour game plan. So I am just going to get started on that front, and then I'll open it up to questions in a few minutes. So the 72-hour game plan, it's kind of the backbone of one of the, big things that we do here at LuLaRoe. One of the things that I hear when people are struggling, especially when they're first starting off, is I can't book parties. Everyone I know isn't interested, or sales in my VIP group are slow, or I just can't book enough in-homes. And that is what the 72-hour game plan is actually designed for. The point is to get outside your social circle, get outside your VIP group, and kind of open yourself up a little bit. I won't lie, it takes a little bit of guts. And it definitely puts you outside your comfort circle in a little bit. But you might be surprised once you start asking, the kind of circles that you're going to open up. So the basic tenet is this. Take a piece of paper, write down a list of names, and call. But there's actually a way to do it that kind of gets different areas of your life involved. So, what I like to do, and I've seen this, take a piece of paper, and then you're going to break it into 6 sections. I'm not Picasso, so deal with me. On each of these grids is going to be a different area of your life. So the first one, we like to start off with, it's called cell phone. So in your grid in the first corner, you're going to write cell phone. And cell phone is easy. You're going to pick up your phone. You're going to look through it. You probably have a ton of contacts in there. You're going to take 10 people off your cell phone, contacts that you think might be interested in, doing a LuLaRoe party, at least coming over to shop, maybe having an online sale, anything. So go in there, pick 10 people. It doesn't need to be 10 people you really know all that well, and write those down in that first line. So you should have 10 names. Your goal here is to have 60 to 70 names. I know that sounds crazy, but each kind of grid square will have 10 names on it. So cell phone is your first one. That one's easy. The next ones are acquaintances. So in your next one, you put down acquaintance in the next one. And in there, 10 names of people you know, but kind of don't really know. Maybe they're a friend of a friend. Maybe they're a neighbor you're not really used to, but you see them walking their dog around the neighborhood and you think, oh, that girl might like LuLaRoe. It might be a preschool mom. It might be, someone at your salon, someone you kind of just encounter in your day-to-day life. People you know, but not that well. The next one in the grid, and this is pretty easy, are your kids' contacts if you have kids. Third one, kids' contacts. So if you have kids, that's your, kids' coach. It's your kids' teachers. It's the mom at preschool. It is the mommies group in your local community. Even if you don't have a mom, you don't have kids, those mom groups, those social mom groups are awesome for getting new people involved in LuLaRoe. A lot of them have branches and different events, girls' night out, that kind of thing. It's worth calling whoever their event director is and saying, hey, I do this. I think your moms would love this. Are you doing a night maybe soon with like wine and cheese, whatever, and I'd love to do this for you, and it's a great night out for your moms. That's under your kids' contacts too. But, it could even be your son's t-ball coach. Maybe your son's t-ball coach has a wife, and, that kind of thing. So that's your kids' contacts. That's like your third part of the grid. Your next one is easy. Well, it should be easy, except for they're probably the hardest to approach when you're first starting in direct sales. Friends and family. Friends and family are the next one. You would be surprised here. I know everyone goes into the saying, I don't want to bug my friends. I don't want to bug my family. Why should, I want them to support me, but I don't want them to bug them to, buy clothes and stuff like that. Sometimes all it takes is asking your mom, like, hey, I know you're not really into this, but can I put the clothes at your house? And can you invite some friends over to drink wine, hang out, do whatever? And you might just find, like, you guys don't have to buy anything, just try it on or whatever. You might find 3 or 4 people there who fall in love with it, want to book a party, and then you find 20 other people at their party who are now loyal customers of yours, come over and shop your VIP sale, et cetera, et cetera. Your sister, your aunt, whoever, like, they might not be into it, but they like you. and your friends like you. So when you're feeling stuck, I always try to push a friend to have a sale at their house, a pop-up, or even like have your friends over my house, do something. You don't even have to clean. Friends and family are the easiest to kickstart you. Even if they're not really necessarily into it, they might have people that are into it. And the whole point is to kind of introduce people to LuLaRoe. It's always nice to have addicts. It's lovely to have people who love LuLaRoe, and you sell a lot at those. But sometimes like the in-home pop-up, even the online pop-up, those are almost for getting new eyes versus making sales. Like I had an awesome online pop-up this week. I sold 50 items. That's pretty darn amazing for a hosted online pop-up. I had one the other week that sold 2. But I also got 5 new people in my VIP group who have been buying from me every Sunday since. So you have to remember that sometimes with hosted events, it's not so much about selling. It is about selling, but you're going to have to do more of those to reach maybe like a larger sale you might do. But the whole point is to get new eyes, and new eyes mean new sale and new people in your life. So friends and family are a good way to kickstart when you're stuck. Again, it's kind of just saying, hey, your friends might not be into it, but can I set up so you can, just have them over, and, then we can see if they're really into it or not. They're always, my go-to. Like my mom's not necessarily into it. She buys stuff for me, but she's not necessarily into it. But her friends, I've had them all over just to hang out, and I've brought a couple racks over her house, and all of a sudden I have 5 new customers that buy from me all the time, which is pretty funny because they're all lunch ladies and they're really cute. Okay, so the next one after friends and family, you have work contacts. If you are working, maybe this is your husband work, maybe it's not. If you're like me, sometimes you kind of hide this from work a little bit because you do too much stuff at work. So work contacts are your next stuff. That is easy. Like some people are teachers, and actually my hostess the other week asked me, can you set up in the teacher's room? I said, hey, as long as your principal is cool with it, yeah, I'd love to set up in the teacher's room. If your work is cool with you setting up in the lunchroom or the break room, even if it's 1 rack or 3 boxes of leggings and maxi skirts or something like that, you might just find, a customer in that. Or maybe it's a coworker's wife, or maybe it's just another girl at work. Maybe it's a client of yours. Wherever you think in work, you write down 10 people associated with your work that you think might be interested, or someone that you could at least call and talk to about this, or maybe they know people that are interested. The final one is also kind of easy, and this is actually not, there's an extra bonus category, but social network. We all know what this is. And this is not your VIP group, by the way. Social network is your 6th one. This is all the people. I mean, I bet you're on Facebook, and I bet you could go through your friends list and you, A, don't remember friending some of these people, B, haven't seen a bunch of these people in a long time, etc. But they might live close to you. They might be interested. They might have heard of LuLaRoe. They might have not have heard of LuLaRoe. And so I would go through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, some people that you might have some kind of acquaintance contacts on, or even just community contacts on, and reach out to them. And that's another 10 names on your list. The final one is kind of easy once you start selling. It's a Google form. So in my Google form, it says at the bottom, would you like to host a pop-up? And I know in the craziness of shipping, packing, invoicing, and making a sale, I forget about that list a lot. But it's good to go through and get 10. I bet you can find 10 names off that list that you hadn't seen before. Email, private message, whatever, and there's 10 online pop-ups, almost without a doubt. That's usually how I book all my online pop-ups, is actually off my Google form. And they usually come from another hosted party I've done online. So those are kind of the 7 grid pieces to the 72-hour game plan. Here's how it works. So you've got your 10 contacts in each of those columns. In the course of 72 hours, you need to reach out to them. Phone is always best, but depending on how you communicate, it could be Facebook message, it could be email, it could be text, whatever, and go through and basically just say, hey, I'm doing this cool thing. Maybe you noticed my leggings the other day. Maybe you noticed my top, my dress, whatever. It's called LuLaRoe, and basically what we do is we hold parties, and there's no pressure, no sales gimmick, no speech, no nothing. I'd like to come in, just set up some clothes, and you can have your friends over and they can shop. And again, no big deal, but if you kind of like that stuff, or this is what I'm doing, I would love to hold a pop-up for you. Or you can even approach it as I have a lot of friends who are really into this stuff. I see the way you dress, I see you're doing this, I see you're doing that, would you like to be a part of this cool thing and earn some free clothes? Another way to go about it, especially online, is, or even in person, if you have a customer who's constantly buying stuff but has not held a pop-up yet, you've got to teach yourself to reach out and ask those questions like, hey, Susie, you just bought 10 items. I saw your friend buy another 5. If you had an online party, you could be getting some of that stuff for free. And most people kind of don't think about it because they think it's a lot of work. But, as we know, it's not that huge of a deal to invite a bunch of people online or actually in person just to come over and shop. I think we forget that, our customers sometimes don't think about necessarily booking a party, but we have to almost remind them like, hey, your buddies just bought like 10 items for me in an online sale. That can mean 1 free item for you. That also works when it comes to recruiting as well. If I see someone who's buying a ton over and over and over again, I will reach out by email or private message and say, hey, you know what, you really love this stuff. Have you ever thought of doing this? I know it's kind of crazy and kind of scary, but you could be selling this, making money, and getting your clothes for, wholesale. It's not as crazy as you think, and I've actually gotten response that way. So during the point of the 72-hour game plan, you're reaching out to these people, and if you're lucky, you've got 70 people to contact. And I would guess the times I've done it, I would say 40%, 50%, I've been able to book through. Because I think people just sometimes are a little shy about reaching out and asking us, which sounds silly because it's what we do, but people tend to be a little bit shy on that front. And I think usually I have a 50% success rate. So, if I have 60 on a list, and I'll be honest, I don't ever really make it to 60. I probably make it to like 40. I'll get 20 responses of yes, either online or in person. Because most people just appreciate someone reaching out to them and saying, hey, I do this really fun thing. Why don't you join me? And so that is like the basics of the 72-hour game plan. I find putting people into these little categories, and you might be able to switch this grid around based on your life and what works for you. It helps me segment and tailor, and tailor my approach. I have wicked allergies, sorry. And tailor my approach to different people. So I'm going to approach my kids and my kids' contacts and my friends and family a little differently. So that is kind of why we break it up like this, because different people require different approaches. Kind of moving on, as part of this, we've introduced something called the 72-hour 90. And the 72-hour 90 is basically the 72-hour game plan. You take 3 things, the 72-hour game plan being one of them, and you promise to commit yourself to doing them every 3 days for 3 months. Now, that sounds crazy, right? Oh my God, how am I going to come up with 60 names every 3 days for 3 months? Well, maybe not. Maybe you're coming up with 20 every 3 days for 3 months. But this is really good if you're starting out. The other 2 things, you need 2 other core principles or core actions that grow your business. So the way, these things are things like, okay, every 3 days for 9 months, I'm going to try to hand out as many business cards as I can. I'm going to commit myself to that. Or every 3 days, for 3 months, I am going to work on posting every day on Instagram, or I'm going to style an outfit of the day, or I'm going to, just in general, post on social media about LuLaRoe every day for 90 days. The point of this is kind of taking a look at what you do every day and what during that day makes you money. What are the actions during your day that can turn out making you money? So if you're posting your outfit over on Instagram and someone's like, hey, I want that, and you reply, hey, I've got it in a medium, that's making you money. If you're handing out a business card at the post office, you're making money that way because that person's probably going to call you and talk to you. If you're talking about LuLaRoe and the line to pick up your kids at preschool, that's going to make you money. So think about those actions that you take every day that actually make you money. And then take those core actions and apply them for 90 days. So every day for 90 days, I'm going to post on Instagram. Every day for 90 days, I'm going to hand out 3 business cards. Every day for 90 days, I'm going to give out 3 pairs of leggings. If you can do that for 90 days, I bet you your circles will increase. Now, granted, we all know, it takes you out of your comfort zone to hand people a free pair of leggings or hand a business card or kind of just start talking out of the blue about LuLaRoe. But I find those kind of weird little contacts and little, encounters you have with people remember those things. And if you're kind and you're nice, they're going to really respond to that. And they're probably going to book something with you, or they're at least going to buy from you. Maybe they'll come over to shop, and maybe they'll book something down the road. The 72-hour game plan, as daunting as it sounds, It's really simple. And if you hit it over and over and over again, or at least when you're stuck, sometimes you're going to get in a role. I'm in a role right now. I'm booked for 2 months. That's awesome. I'm not always booked for 2 months. 2 months ago, I was not booked at all for May and June. I sat down and I wrote a list, and I said to myself, okay, how am I going to do this? Well, I reached out on, Facebook. I reached out to my mom's group locally. I reached out to other parents at my kids' preschool, and all of a sudden I had bookings. It wasn't the easiest thing for me to do. I'm not kind of a crazy extroverted forward person, but it definitely helps. And then off of those, I've booked out these 2 months. So it definitely is a domino effect. So if you can kind of do this and make these kind of subject matter, like those parts of your life and your grid work for you, then it's definitely, worth hitting. And the stuff like handing out your business cards, posting on Facebook, that kind of thing, that's easy. And those are things that you have to commit to doing them. You have to say, okay, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to put on my makeup. I'm going to put on a cute outfit, I'm going to do my hair, and I'm actually going to get in front of that camera, and I'm going to buy myself a little claw tripod thing. We've talked about it before, and a little Bluetooth timer. Ladies, they're $5 on Amazon, and I'm going to get a good picture of myself. I'm not going to selfie in the shower or the bathroom. I'm not going to do this. Yeah, don't selfie in the shower, in the bathroom, and like try to make this crazy picture. Like, you got to present yourself. I mean, have you seen Lindsay Wheeler? If you haven't followed Lindsay Wheeler on, my internet connection is unstable. Excellent. Awesome. Am I back or no?